Welcome to the Dirt Cup at the Skagit Speedway, where legends are made and dreams become a reality. This isn't just another race, it's all the best West Coast 410 sprint cars battling for one of the biggest prizes in all of sprint car racing in $100,000. Every lap on track matters, every mistake is costly, and if you put your name on the Dirt Cup at the end of this weekend, you have earned it. All right, we are just about 1 hour until I will be suiting up, firing up my Buick Motorsports 13 car, and we are gonna begin the final night of the Dirt Cup. With us being fourth in overall points after the Thursday and Friday prelim, we are locked in. Like, the worst weekend start in tonight's A main event is fifth. Everyone else is fighting for the final four lock-in spots, 5 through 8 in the pole shuffle, so we're gonna be in the pole shuffle. And then, of course, the rest of the lock-in spots into the big finale, paying $5,000 to start and over $100,000 to win. That's what's at stake here for tonight's show. We have over 50 410 sprint cars, and there's only 24 spots, and then I think there's 2 provisionals on top of that. So, you know, half the field's gonna go home disappointed, but good news for us. Again, we're in the big show, and the fans are starting to pile in for one of the biggest racing nights in all of 2026 here on the West Coast. So that right up there is exactly what I'm talking about. The fans are packing this place. The energy here tonight for the 40 lapper is gonna be incredible. That is truly what makes my job amazing, is looking up and seeing, you know, thousands and thousands of people here, us racing for a ton of money, and Skagit Speedway has been in tip-top shape all weekend. So they're putting the final touches on it. Again, the pit area, there's a lot of anticipation right now. I feel like everyone, you know, is probably a little on edge. Everyone's obviously trying to finish getting in the show and get themselves in position, and we can relax some, really study here early in the night as everyone's gonna hot lap, they're gonna run their heat races, and then we are gonna be rolling into our hot laps, and then that pole shuffle, which will be our final laps before the actual A main event tonight, paying all the money. So our quick hot lap session to begin the night is done. We were second out of the 4 cars that were out there, so I guess that's a little bit of a confidence booster. We weren't far off Brad. He was a 12.31, we were a 12.35. At the end of the day, though, hot laps pays absolutely nothing. Just an opportunity to kind of see where our car's at. Honestly, our lap times were better than how I felt out there, but sometimes that's racing, and you know, you're trying to go you know, even though that's a hot lap session, you're trying to go so hard there because you got to get every ounce out of your race car so you can give feedback. You know, if you're going out there and you're just cruising, you're not learning nothing. So trying to, you know, attack it like it's a race, and now we have a pole shuffle. So it's basically a 1.5 lap race. They are going to be starting us on the backstretch. We come around, we get the white, we get the checkered. So this is going to be really quick. I told you guys the worst we can start is 5th. The best we can start is on the pole. So it's great that we have that opportunity, but I think this is going to be more about the start than anything, and, you know, probably honestly jumping it a little bit and trying to take every inch you can. So we'll see how it shakes out. Yeah, we're focused on this, but I mean, if we can obviously get farther up in our starting position, that's going to help us have an opportunity to win this Dirt Cup. good pull shuffle for us. I actually won one of my rounds, which if you have followed me, you know historically, for some reason, I just lay eggs in pull shuffles. So that was good. We didn't fall back a spot. We were fourth and ran fourth, and I think just about almost everyone else kind of ended up about in the spot. Pittman passed a couple cars, but it was just super interesting. You have a lap and a half, and you're basically trying to win the race off of turn 4 for that last lap. So I thought we did kind of what we could do there. Maybe could have got by McFadden if I could have just, I almost caught him where he could slide across and I could turn underneath, and again, just didn't execute, but pull shuffles don't mean a whole lot. We're gonna start fourth, second row outside. We're in great position here. We just have to make our final changes. So quick look at the track. We have our support division, and then we're gonna have our 40 lap finale. They're just working the top. I bet they also touch the bottom. You can see they've kind of been doing a trend all weekend. Water the bottom, water the top, till it, let it kind of slick back off, let it get wide, then do it again, bring it back, and then just been doing that a few times a night. Now with less laps tonight, obviously this is really the first time they're actually working it. So I have a feeling it's gonna be quite slick for our race. We're gonna have to pay attention if it's gonna take rubber or how it's gonna change, but I think we're gonna have a great surface. It's gonna be up to us drivers on who can wheel and deal the best, and put our car in position and bring home the check. So just really focusing in here now. We're kind of closing in on the final moments outside the car before we put that helmet on and go. All right, so just done after the feature. A lot going through our head after a big race like that, right? I mean, there's a lot of money on the line, and you know, a lot of really good cars, and yeah, we came home 5th, so top 5 at the Dirt Cup. I think that's you know, a couple years of my career that I've ran in the top 5. We've been so good at this race, we just haven't broke through on the final night or on a prelim night yet. But man, the finishes have been there. I mean, consistency, I guess, right? We literally ran 5th all 3 nights this weekend, so that's a little unfortunate, but I felt like we gave it just about everything we had. Like we talked about, we just needed to be better in the last 10 laps of the race. So I thought we were really good till that point. We were probably a top 3 car. At one point we got to 2nd. Didn't really pressure Brad, but we were on him for 2 or 3 laps on a restart, and then he started to get away. And you know, for me, I think I just got to continue to just be a tiny bit smarter throughout the race. I thought I ran hard. I tried to leave it all out on the track, but again, there was just a few moments that maybe I could have, even though I didn't feel as great at the end of the race, I could have maybe not given up position. But again, at the same time, you're just trying to do whatever you can to maybe win the race. It pays so much to win, and you know, that's what my team wants, that's what I want. So just think on it, sleep on it. You got to lose these races to continue to win them one day. And obviously this field was extremely, you know, a lot of talent. So I don't think we ran bad. I just think that we had a really good lap 1 through, you know, about 20, 28 or 29, and the last 10 to 12, you know, could have been cleaned up. So you live and you learn. You know, you make notes, and I can go to sleep tonight knowing that I gave it everything I had. And at the point I am at my career, I raced really hard. So is what it is, and we'll take our 5th. Well, as usual, we're one of the last ones to leave the pit area. 2026 Dirt Cup is complete. I feel like as a team, we're leaving here with our heads held high. We raced our tail off all 3 nights. We were one of the most consistent cars. I mean, I don't know a single car that ran the same position Thursday through Saturday. Would have been really cool if we could have made that a couple spots better, but overall, the fight was there. The 13 car was fast. I think we came to a conclusion as we kind of all talked as a team, loading stuff up. We just were a little too good, a little too early in this race tonight, and you know, maybe should have made adjustments under that open red. It was so tough. They did that open red so early in the race. The fuel load's still burning off. Your car's still getting comfortable, and again, I'm just learning stuff as a driver to communicate and how we can just have things, you know, a little bit better. But I feel like we were dang close, and of course, maybe too, some different lane choices. You know, I really tried to make the high side work, which I think it was okay for the first 20 laps, but the bottom ended up just being so strong and a little bit of a cleaner lane. And so obviously, as I was selling out on the high side, trying to make it work, I got to 2nd, but then that allowed Brent to fight back. And then at one point, the 69K was in the picture, then Rico was in the picture, and it was just so hard to make speed up there at the end. And again, I just think our lap 25 through 40, if that's different, that's our opportunity to maybe win Dirt Cup. Otherwise, man, we just ran our butt off. But they've officially shut the lights off on us down here on the racing surface. Skagit was technical Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I feel like they couldn't have really given us more challenging surfaces. Between the backstretch restarts, between the cushion, between, you know, the bottom getting real thin, guys were pretty much having to change it up all 3 nights. I feel like we were chasing our car, just the fine details of it. The 13 was super comfortable from the drop, you know, in the beginning of the weekend, but overall we were just chasing that little bit as we kind of came here into the Saturday finale. And I feel like we got some really good notes and stuff for when we come back here with high limit, and again, a solid top 5 as we continue, you know, so many good runs here at the Dirt Cup. So leaving this place, one of these years we're gonna get this race and we're gonna put our name on it, but until then we're just gonna keep working at it. And what's so important in this sport is you learn so much from your losses, and you lose so much more in this sport than you'll ever win. And you know, you keep coming back to these races because they're so special and they mean a lot, and at some point we will eventually again win this race and conquer it. So I want to thank Tom Book and our owner for allowing us to come out here. It was not a small tow for our team. We have a lot of great partners that also help make it happen, and a lot of great fans that we got to see along the way. So really glad we made it, and I'm sure we'll be back at the Skagit Speedway in the future for many more shows. Deuces.